Holy shit, did you realise that E3 just happened? Of course I did. Why else would I be talking about this right now? Anyway, I gotta talk about E3 because there was a lot of things to talk about, and I'm gonna just make it plain and simple. I'm gonna talk about the top 15 games that I like out of E3, and I've made some series of rules. Like, one rule is that I'm gonna make at the top 15, number 1 to 5, I'm definitely gonna be buying the games no matter what happens. 6 to 11 I will buy, but it will be like at least 1 to 4 months after release. And 12 to 15, they're not high on my list, but if they're very cheap on offer or someone donates them to me as a thank you for something, then hell, that's a good reason to get it. Plus the honourable mentions, I will say my opinion about them, so let's just talk about the honourable mentions first. Age of Empires Definitive Edition. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you on this one. I like the idea of this game getting a definitive edition, but the problem is, and I'm going to be fair, it's on PC only, and I have two complaints about that one. One, well, it's not a complaint, but it's an actual opinion. The only way to play Age of Empires is on PC, and that means that's a good thing. But the downside is they didn't grab the market by putting it on Xbox One, or even on the Xbox One X. Just as a acknowledgement here, I'm not going to be talking about the consoles as a whole general unless you want me to, so sorry about that. Anyway, back to Age of Empires. Yeah, they dropped the ball by not putting it on the Xbox One or even the Xbox One X. So they dropped the ball on that one, but Xbox, I should say Age of Empires on PC, good call. FIFA 18 and Madden 18, I mean, come on, do I need to talk about this? FIFA 18, I'm interested in the game, but I'm going to get it at least overall about 8 to 10 months after the game's released, mostly because I'm only going to be playing it for the story mode. And yes, I know a lot of people will be like, well, there's other game features in the game too. Yeah, but there's the online features I've never given a fuck about from the start, and there's also like the career mode, which I got bored after the third, I think it was at least 2012, I got bored with this shit. But now and then I play it, but it's like I play 2 games, I leave it for about nearly 2 months, and then I play another 2 games, and then I'll leave it again for another 2 months, you know, same shit. And as for Madden 18, they now added a story mode. Why the hell would you add a story mode to Madden 18? I'll tell you why. Because FIFA was so successful, let's add it to another sport game. Plus the fact that I make a general rule not to buy Madden games at least 4 to 5 years after I've bought the latest one, which was at least Madden 17. So I sort of dropped the personal ball on that one, but you know, shit happens. Sea of Thieves. Oh boy, let me talk about this one. I like the idea of this one, but the downside is, if I'm being honest, I feel like it's too cartoony, like too much like Overwatch to be taken seriously, so I'm not really interested in this one. Need for Speed Payback. Wow, let's talk about the Fast and the Furious fucking knockoff, shall we? That's how bad it is. I'm losing my voice over this one. Need for Speed was essentially meant to be called Need for Speed Furious, but they changed it because they didn't want anyone to think, oh, it's too much like Fast and the Furious. Look at the fucking poster. It looks too much like Fast and the Furious already. Enough said. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Do I really need to talk about this one? Because they cancelled the game twice, and now they're re-releasing it for the second fucking time. Is, you know, why? I will admit that they've actually announced it, which and make all the characters look old. The problem is that the gigantic chimpanzee I saw and the little kid, which is obviously a girl, I honestly thought those two looked like the characters from Speed Racer, and I thought, Jesus Christ, they've aged a bit. Project Cars 2. Now, I'm going to be fair with this one. I've been looking forward to this game, and I've heard about this game since March. And the minute I heard about it, I was waiting for it to be available so I could pre-order it, and I have pre-ordered it. So it's only an honourable mention because I've already pre-ordered it, but I'm looking forward to playing the game. With that being said, let's count down to the countdown, actually. Number 15, Call of Duty World War II. Really, do we need this game? I mean, seriously, do we really need this one? This only came out because Battlefield 1 was so fucking successful. Enough said. Assassin's Creed Origins is at number 14. I will admit the idea of being in Egypt is a good idea. I mean, it's different. I'm not saying that any of the other Assassin's Creed games were bad, but it was sort of like they've had this whole yo-yo effect. Like, the first game was crap, the second one was good, it was falling. Third one was so bad, I've still got it shrink wrapped in my collection. 4 was the fucking epic shithole that was known as excellent. 5, I can't remember what the fuck it was, but then there was also Unity, that was it. Sorry about that, but Unity, that was just a disaster. I honestly thought they killed off the franchise before it even kicked off. And then Syndicate, it was good, but had some glitches, but, you know, not big. So this one, I'll give it a maybe. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, the first one was an embarrassment, and I got it cheap. I'm glad I got it cheap. This one, I so hope it's cheap when it comes out, because that's the only reason I would buy it. Shadow of the Colossus, the PS4 rendition. This is a game that's only going to come out because The Last Guardian was so successful. Many people actually questioned, why is this happening? So then they released this game, and you know next year, or the next E3, Ico is going to be released, and if it is, I'm just going to say the words right now, I fucking told you so. Forza Motorsport 7 comes in at number 11. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not much fucking difference to this game. I'm going to be fair. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just being serious because I'm more interested in Project Cars 2, and this one is only behind the next game because, you know, you get what you pay for. Gran Turismo Sport comes in at number 10, and I got to tell you right now that the only reason I am interested in this game is because they're now focusing on motorsport, not just racing. And I say that as sarcastically as possible because the term racing is very overused now. So what the hell do I say about this? Everybody's golf! Holy shit! I can't believe it! Finally! Something fucking good! I'm only saying this out of fairness to my dad because he loved the Everybody's Golf franchise, and I'd easily buy this one for him. No question about it. Days Gone. Seriously, zombies once again, but I will admit it was either this or the other one. I can never remember what it was called, so I do apologise. State of Decay, that was it. Sorry. But this one looks a lot better, and I say that out of niceness. Kingdom Hearts 3. Thank fucking God they're making this one. Skull and Bones. This one I actually do like the look of because it reminds me too much of Black Flag, and I love Black Flag. The downside is it's multiplayer only, as far as I know. And that's a bit of a bummer for me because I was so hoping this one is single player, but we've only seen the multiplayer aspect of it. Who knows, there probably is a single player. Cuphead. And that's not a very sexual reference. If it is, you are a very sick pervert, you sick pervert. I love this game, love the art style, love the idea that it looks too much like a cartoon to actually be taken seriously. But who the hell cares? Contra in cartoon form. Enough said. Detroit Becoming Human. Really, I mean, David Cage game, good. I mean, I love David Cage games. I mean, I can't say much more than that, can I? Shut up. God of War is at number 3, and I feel like this game needs hype. If I can give an honest hype about this game, I'm going to say that I love the God of War franchise. I've loved it since it started. If anyone says there's a bad game, I'd actually just say, why do you think it's a bad game? Not because it is bad, just why do you think it's bad? And if I say this game was bad, it's only because it's not in Greeks. It looks too much like Nordic, which is definitely different. But, you know, for all we know, this might be a descendant of Kratos. This might actually be Kratos, and he might be wanting to keep his past as the past. Who knows what will happen with this one? I'm really looking forward to this one. Spider-Man. I want those photos of Spider-Man, you know, because he's a menace. I'm looking forward to this one because this one looks too much like Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 and Xbox, the original Xbox at that. And literally, the only thing I'm sort of nitpicking at this one, and I say that not in a bad way, but is this tied into the movie? Because if it is, why the hell was it not called Spider-Man Homecoming, or even have anything to do with Spider-Man Homecoming, or even if it's tied in with the Avengers in some way? I mean, come on. Let's just hope that the actual gameplay footage can shed light on the footage. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, my #1 game. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you for this one. I'm just really biased on this one. I say that with the nicest way possible because, one, I love the Dragon Ball Z games. I know there have been some good ones and some bad ones, but it's a case of if there's a Dragon Ball Z game, I am going to get it no matter what. Two, this one actually looks like a fucking good game, and I'm saying that nicely, and I don't mean it in a very mean way. I do think this one looks very good, especially the fact that it looks very animated, and I do mean that in literal sense, like something good. And number 3, I just really thought Xenoverse 2 should have been better off as a DLC, not as a full game, and that was let down, so this game will make me forget about Xenoverse 2 whatsoever. So that's my 15 games and my honorable mentions. If you like your games, let me know what games you were more interested in, especially if they were not mentioned on this list. And if I was very offensive with my language, well, bye.